road to World Cup glory is underway. Last weekend, things kicked off in Cheongsong, China, where Russia's Anton Nemov and Valeria Bogdan took the first speed gold medals of the season. But there's still everything to play for as athletes battle for a chance to earn their spot on the podium and ultimately to be crowned World Cup champion. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2020 UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup. Welcome to Cheongsong. Welcome to Cheongsong, South Korea, the 10th year that the UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup has been held in this spectacular venue. And it's all about to kick off shortly with the men's and women's speed finals. This is stop 2 on this year's Ice Climbing World Tour, and there is still everything to play for. 70 athletes started out this morning, and 16 now go head-to-head to earn their place in the final. So it's 3 degrees Celsius here in Cheongsong, which gives an idea of the conditions athletes face. Better for them than it is for the ice. My name is Tarquin Cooper, and I shall be commentating throughout the speed finals this morning. So some names to watch out for. On the men's first, it's really the story of the Russians. 6 have all scored the fastest times on the qualifiers. Among them, Vladislav Yurlov, Vladimir Kartashev, Maxim Vlasov, Nikolai Kuzovlev, of course the reigning champion Anton Nemov, and last week's second place finisher Nikita Glazerin. Over on the women's side, it's a similar story with many of the Russians all qualifying again for this round of 16, including all of the podium finishers last weekend. Valeria Bogdan goes through, Maria Tolokanina, of course, Alina Vlasova, and Ekaterina Timokina. And they will be shortly kicking off here for the speed finals. It's a round of 16, so we will see it's really a continuation of the qualification. Each athlete does the route twice, and then it's the accumulated time that counts, not just who they beat. So it's the time that counts, and the fastest will go through to the quarterfinals. And that will all kick off very shortly. We're just having a little bit of a technical issue at the moment. They're just fixing the clock at the top of the speed route. And as soon as that is ready to time these athletes, we shall be kicking off with what promises to be a thriller on ice. Now, if you're new to the sport, this is all about speed. There are no points for style. It's not about how you get up there. There are no specific obstacles on the way that you have to surmount. It's just a vertical sprint. And these guys absolutely go hell for leather. It's quite extraordinary to watch, so buckle up, it's going to be pretty exciting. In terms of the equipment the athletes use, it's a very different setup to lead. If you start with the crampons almost resemble the kind of crampons that you wear on a glacier. They have, instead of 1 point, a monopoint, they use 2 points at the front, which can be up to 5 centimeters long. And that's useful, but that surface area gives you a bit more bite and purchase on the ice. On the tools themselves are much, much shorter than the 50 centimeters that you will have for typically for a lead tool. And there's no serrated edge on either the front point of the tool, the pick of the tool, or the front points of your crampon. And the idea of that is to allow an easy extraction. You don't want a serrated pick because it may be harder to pull out. You want to be super quick. Really, you don't want to place the axe at all, swing it. There's no kicking, no swinging of the tool. All that will cost you valuable time. The idea is just to go as fast as you can. There is Anton Niemov stealing himself. Is he going to get another podium? He is the reigning world champion. And won last week as well. These Russians, very, very strong. It really is, speed is a story of the Russians. They absolutely dominate like no other. There's Tristan Ladovon. He's also a very, very strong contender. But he will have to work very, look at the guns on that boy. In 14 years, there have been 29 speed champions. 28 of them have been Russian. It gives you just a small idea of the dominance of the Russians. Absolute dominance. They crush this sport. The last time a non-Russian took the gold was in 2008 by a Slovenian climber. But Tristan Ladovon will be hoping perhaps this is the year that might see the French unseat the Russians. We shall have to see. Tristan Ladovon, he actually qualified for the speed last weekend, but decided to pull out to concentrate on the lead. And he was very disappointed not to make the lead this time around, so we can expect him to put in a lot of effort. So the ice, they're just giving a little bit of a test of the ice. It has been up for a couple of weeks now, but we've had some very unseasonably warm temperatures recently. So there has been a lot of melt. And it should be there's been enough action on it through the warm-ups that it should be just a case of hooking. That's to say that all athletes should need to do is that the holds are already in there, and all they've got to do is just place their tools, just literally just hook them in, and they're good to go, good to stand up and weight them. The last thing they want to be doing is putting in fresh holes in the ice, because that will take time and it will cost energy as well. So we're just getting a few messages on social. Hello from BC, Canada. And we've also got some support for Team Mongolia. Now we've got the first athletes coming up, warming up, all in their sort of puffer jackets. A few words of encouragement among the athletes. Vladimir Kartashev will be the first male athlete to go. And on the women, it will be Dong Ya Huang. So, as always, you can head over to our social media channels to see all the other content that we've been producing throughout this UIAA Ice Climbing World Tour. We were in Changchun last weekend. So, it is Vladimir Kartashev who begins with a very self-assured start. 8.71 seconds. Sets the bar high from the Russian. He was 5th last weekend. Can he make the podium? So he will now go over to the right as Wungwook Yang from Korea takes over on the left. Remember, it's the accumulated time that counts. It's not just who wins the heat. Kartashev on the right, Yang on the left. And the start gun fires, and it's Yang who has a very, very fast start. It's neck and neck. Kartashev has a slip. Yang, it could be Yang, and it's Liang's in the time of 7.49, which is the faster of those two heats. Now, if you want to stay glued to the action and follow exactly the rankings as they are updated live, you can do that by heading over to uiaa.results.info, and from there you can select the event and see the times as they are posted. So Kartashev is off. Next up is Vladimir. There we saw Yang just had the edge on the Russian there. So Vladislav Yulov now from Russia on the left. And it's Yang on the right.
Ready.
It's neck and neck. Could be Yulov, but Yang looks so strong. It could be anybody's, but it's Yulov's. Yulov's in 7.95. So that's it for Yang. He comes down, unties. Yulov moves over to the right, and Maxim Vlasov comes on. Vlasov was 6th last weekend. Can he make the podium? First, he's just got to qualify through to the quarters. Really needs to be getting under 8 seconds to stand a chance. Vlasov. He's off. And it's Yulov. His teammate Vladislav Yulov has the edge there as he comes down. Time of 6.79. That could well be the fastest time yet posted. Here we clearly see Vladislav Yulov having the edge there. Now, look who's just arrived at the starting area on the left. It is a Nikolai Kuzovlev. Did very well to qualify for the leads. Very lucky, but it's speed that counts. And let's see how this Russian rocket will do. And he demonstrates with ease why he is one of the world's best. Can he do sub 7? He does indeed. 6.82 for the Russian Nikolai Kuzovlev. This man has a masterclass of technique. Just so effortless. Very unique technique as well. It's not about placing your arms up high. It's just keeping the arms very short and close to the body. So Kuzovlev moves to the right, and it is David Bouffard from Canada who takes over on the left.
Ready.
But it's Bouffard who gets off to a flying start. Can Kuzovlev recover? He does indeed. Kuzovlev recovers with ease. Not as fast as his earlier heat, but it's enough to beat David Bouffard. So Kuzovlev comes off. No, his feet are very much off to the side. Many athletes prefer that technique. Less chance of the ice fracturing. So David Bouffard goes off to the right. And now it's Basandoj Davandoj. Mongolians have been proving strong this season, and they're neck and neck. Davandoj struggles, and it's Bouffard who has the edge. Both struggling. Bouffard, he doesn't quite get the timing, Matt. But he just gets a sub 10, not the fastest time. And Davandoj, 10.69. So that's it for David Bouffard. Came 7th last weekend in Changchun, China. So watch out now for Tristan Ladevant. Often a top 10 finisher, 6th in France last year. He is poised, he is psyched, and he's up against the Mongolian. Not the fastest start that I've seen Ladevant do. He has the edge, but it's not going to be the fastest time as Davandoj tries to recover. Oh, but it's not going to count for Tristan Ladevant. He hits himself on the head as if to berate himself. So you have to hit the timing, Matt, and you have to ensure that the clock stops. He may raise that with the officials to see whether it counts. In some cases, they will go a manual time. So Davandoj now is off. Tristan moves over to the right. And it's another Mongolian athlete who steps up, Kieline Niamda, who came 4th last weekend in China. These Mongolians are very strong on speed.
Ready?
He's on his own. He's looking very good technique. The tool just got stuck there. Recovers. He's absolutely floating up there. Under 10 seconds. If he hadn't had that little stick where the pick got caught, he would have been even faster. 9.49. Will that be enough to get him through to the quarters? So because Zsa Dongfang is presumably raised a technical issue, which means he misses his round. So Niamda moves to the right, and it's Yonggon Lee on the left. Niamda on the right. Niamda is poised, but is it going to be Lee? It's Niamda who has the edge. Lee struggles and he's off. That's it for Lee. Koreans don't normally do so well at speed. They traditionally focus on lead. So Niamda, that could be enough to see him through. 7.78, almost certainly. He will be very happy with that performance. So watch out for this man on the left. It is none other than Mohammad Reza Safdarian, fireman in Iran. Let's see what happens when fire meets ice. A little bit of a struggle there. Not the easiest of routes, this. Sub 10, maybe enough. Comes from the desert city of Esfahan, does Mohammad Reza. But here, he's doing battle on ice. Now stepping up on the left is the reigning world champion. You can see he's got his little yellow stripe on, Anton Yemov. This could be close. It's neck and neck for the start, but Niamov has got the edge as Safdarian comes off. Niamov, slight slip there. Not a flawless performance, but is sub 7 seconds. Certainly one of the fastest. Not quite as fast as Nikolai Kuzovlev's. But he will be very happy with that. That will certainly see him go through to the quarters. As now Nikita Glazerin comes on. He was second last weekend in Cheongsong. Russia v Russia. Just look at them, poised and ready to launch themselves up this wall of ice like a couple of crabs escaping the hot water. It's Niamov, the reigning champion, who has it, but wastes so much time at the top. Something went slightly wrong there for him. He's still quicker, however, than his teammate Nikita Glazerin. So Niamov got to the top, clearly in the lead with a good time, flawless performance, and then something just, his right foot just skidded out. He is now off. Nikita Glazerin goes to the right. And from Switzerland, it is Jonathan Brown, very young athlete, 18 years old, unlikely to podium, but let's see how he can do. Looked like a very fast start off the blocks. Certainly these European climbers are catching up with the Russians, but not quite fast enough, it would seem, as Nikita Glazerin comfortably secures that win. Nikita's win on that duel was never really in doubt there, but remember, it is the time that counts. We saw him also hit the timing mat a few times. No one wants to repeat what happened to Tristan Ladevaux. So Jonathan Brown over to the right, Liam Foster onto the left, one of the young hotshots from America. Both teenagers, these two. Foster on the left. full start. Full start. Wasn't able to see who caused that full start. Athletes are permitted one full start in the entire competition. Get another one and it will be a penalty. So Liam Foster coiled. He's got some impressive guns on him and he is looking primed and psyched to launch himself up this vertical wall of ice, 12 meters high. It's Jonathan Brown who's got the edge. Jonathan Brown has it, 10.35, and Foster just under 13 seconds. The problem with many of these European and American climbers is they simply don't have the same facilities as the Russians do. Quite often you will find that this is the first time that they practice speed climbing on ice, whereas the Russians have facilities all year round. So last up is Nikolai Primarov from Switzerland. Laser engineer. And is he going to laser himself up this wall of ice? Ready? Foster on the right. Primarov on the left. Look at how his long reach there. Seems like Foster's got the advantage with a slightly shorter, more considered and careful approach. Neither of those two times will worry the Russians too much. But Foster will be happy. He's still accruing experience here on this tour. Primarov, on the other hand, has been around for several years. And he just didn't have the speed there. So we shall wait to see what happens with Tristan Levant. But Nikolai Primarov has his second run now. He'll be looking to improve that previous time. Goes fast out of the start, but it's just not nearly as fast as the Russians. Still, it's under 10 seconds. He will be happy with that. Whether it will be enough to get him through to the next round remains to be seen. So we're seeing the women come straight up. We shall, as soon as I have word on what happened with Tristan Ladavant, we will report back. So first up for the women is Zsa Dongfang from Korea. She will go up alone. Takes a look over her shoulder. The nerves will be kicking in here. Just takes a step back. So it looks like there's just a bit of an issue with the timing mat there at the bottom. Making sure that that is functioning correctly. Ready? So the starting position, one tool in the ice, one leg off the ground, and she is off. Koreans don't normally excel at speed, they tend to concentrate on lead. But can Zsa Dongfang make it through to the next round for Team Korea? 16.83 seconds. It won't be the fastest time recorded in the next hour. I think it's safe to assume the Russians will be able to better that. So alongside her on the left now is Min Young Ha, also from Korea. Ha on the left, Hwang on the right. Just going off at a steady approach now. Just watching them doesn't really give an indication of just how hard they are fighting now. It is not an easy sport, this, at all. It's Hwang who gets the timing map first in 17.9. Some of the Russian men make this sport look rather easy, but it is not at all. The placements that you get with your speed tools are not secure at all. Your feet are not secure at all. Stepping up now is Nazrin Abdulrahimi from Iran on the left, Ha on the right. And it's the Iranian who's making a very secured start, very confident. Big sport in Iran. They've got 5 athletes here, but it's neck and neck. Ha is making a recovery. Abdulrahimi did well to hang on there. Very well to hang on. Didn't quite get the timing match either. We shall wait and have to see what happens with that. If they fail to hit the timing mat and the clock does continue and the judges rule that it's not a technical incident, which they may well do, it will mean that effectively your race is over. Stepping up, Enni Bertling on the left. Looking very strong. She's struggling with a little bit of a head cold today, so she's not feeling her best, but putting in a very determined performance. She nears the top and gets 16.89. Big cheers from Team Finland and her biggest supporter of all, which is her husband, Pauli Salminen. So, Enni Bertling, she now moves over to the right. And it is Yulia Filatova who steps up to the plate. 5th last weekend in Cheongsong. And Russian, which seems to give you an advantage in this sport. Poised, and they're off. Filatova is off like a Russian rocket. As Bertling struggled a little bit on the lower section, Filatova is all the way there. Will post the fastest time yet we've seen, 10.6 on her first route. And Bertling dips just under 16 seconds, 15.99. Filatova, meanwhile, now moves over to the right. And she's up against none other than Maria Tolokanina, who's accrued something like 30 podium medals in the last 15 years, and that's just in speed. So Filatova would be forgiven for feeling intimidated, but she'll be casting all thoughts aside as she begins her second ascent. Slips early on, and it's Maria Tolokanina. Tolokanina, who is giving us the masterclass today. She gets it, the timing match, in 10.73. Not as fast, though, as Yulia's first run. Remember, it's the accumulated time that counts, not who wins the duel. Maria Tolokanina, just an exceptional athlete. We've now got Vivian Labaril. You can always spot her. She's got the most amazing pink boots from Switzerland, up against Maria Tolokanina. Tolokanina showing once again why she is one of the world's best climbers and has dominated this sport for 15 years. But Labaril not doing badly at all. Not doing badly at all as she gets under 16 seconds as well. Labaril wasn't in China last weekend, so this is her first stop on the World Tour. She now moves over to the right as a second Iranian athlete takes up, Shabnam Asadi. Asadi on the left, Labaril on the right.
Ready?
It's Labaril who gets the confident start on this duel. looking very, very self-assured and confident as she makes easy work of this 12-meter head wall. A very, very confident performance from the Swiss athlete, as Asadi doesn't quite get it. She's going to get under 20. 18.79. Labril will be happy with that. 12.42. She gives a nod. A little bit of a smile from the Swiss athlete. So Asadi now switches position as Aneta Luzecka from Czech steps up. She grew up in a zoo. She writes on one of her biogs I've seen, learning to climb animals. Slightly different to climbing a vertical wall of ice, however. Luzecka neck and neck with Asadi from Iran. Looks like Iran has the edge, as both of them struggle to make headway on this wall, just hooking their tools. A little bit of a slip there, not quite getting the feet placement they want. 18 seconds for the Iranian, 20 seconds for Luzecka. Luzecka just struggled a little bit there, and Shabnam Asadi was able to seize the advantage. So Luzecka on the right. We now have a Mongolian athlete, Aryan Baya Batbata, on the left. Both of them psyched, ready, poised to launch. Batbata makes a confident start. These Mongolians, but she does so well to hang on there. The right hand just popped and she clung on for dear life. Meanwhile, Luzecka is struggling herself. So it looks like the Mongolian has it in this heat. 16.66. 18.64 for Aneta. Aryan Baya Batbata will be very happy to have clung on to that. So now we're seeing the current world champion, Valeria Bogdan, who won in Cheongsong last weekend, step up. Very confident athlete, only 19 years old. And she goes up against Batbata, making quite a steady progress. No mistakes, and that's what's important. Batbata, it's neck and neck. Still quite slow times, 13.64 and 14.8. Not the fastest at all from Valeria Bogdan. She is a good 4 seconds slower than Yulia Filatova. Gives an indication of how these athletes are finding this wall of ice. It's not the easiest. Remember, it's absolute 100% frozen water. There's no snow, there's very little air content at all, so it's quite brittle, bullet hard. So next up is a Kazakhstan athlete, Polina Obakirova. Bogdan on the right. Bogdan making a flying start. She looks like she's got this one in the bag, and a much faster time than her previous heat, as Obakirova struggles a little bit. Bogdan will be happier with that. But with youth comes inexperience. And sometimes the ability to perform consistently is not there. Not a huge smile from the Russian. So Kazakh athlete moves to the right, and Ekaterina Timokina steps up on the left. This little Russian rocket, very impressive athlete, missed out on the podium last week, so she will be all fired up and ready to launch herself, which she does. Looking very, very effortless as she just floats up this wall. Just caught herself there, a little bit of a catch. 13.0 seconds for her. And Kazakhstan is struggling. 18.3 seconds for the Kazakh athlete Polina Bakirova. Katerina Timokina will move over to the right now. And stepping up will be the Korean athlete, Sun Ah-son. Son on the left, Timokina on the right. Looks like full start. Remember, you're only allowed one full start. Just 24 years old, Timokina, 3-time champion, formerly under her previous maiden name, Kosheva. So, into a starting position. Ready to launch. It's neck and neck, but Timokina flying up the right-hand side here. Son is struggling. Sub 10 seconds, that could be the fastest time yet recorded. 9.8 seconds for the Russian rocket, Ekaterina Timokina. 18 seconds for Son. She will be very happy with that. We will certainly be seeing her go through to the finals with the first sub 10 seconds. Just looks so strong. Gets those hooks. Son moves over to the right, and it's now Alina Vlasova on the left. Sixth last week in Cheongsong. Can she better that? Not if she has a start like that. Very slow start. Nearly came off. Then gets a pick stuck. This is not her day, as Son gets the edge on her. Vlasova will not be happy with that performance. The leg skidded out, and then she got a pick stuck, which is a problem with this ice. An issue more likely to happen than last weekend. So Alina Vlasova now steps over to the right-hand side. And we now have our first American athlete, Angela Tomczyk. The Americans are only just starting to learn speed, so she doesn't have the experience of Vlasova. But what she lacks, she will certainly make up for with enthusiasm. Vlasova certainly has the edge. The Russian is so experienced and making easy work to get 12.3 seconds as Tomczyk struggles, but looking impressive. Doesn't quite get it. 20.47 seconds. It's unlikely, unfortunately, for Angela Tomczyk that will be a time to see her through to the finals. But Alina Vlasova, we will certainly be seeing her again. So, Angela Tomczyk now is the last to ascend on this qualifying round of 16. Poised, ready to launch herself. And she's off. There are huge, huge cheers now from the crowd, from all her American teammates, yelling for her, hollering from below. Making very fast progress, but nearly lost the leg there, just not getting the purchase with that right crampon. But she's still going strong. She's still going. Gets the timing mat in 23.85 seconds. Still a very brave effort from the American. They're fairly new to speed. They simply don't have the facilities of the Russians. So for many of the athletes in the team, it is quite a new sport. They're just developing the talent. But Angela Tomczyk will be happy with that. She'll be content to have at least made the qualifying rounds. And there we are, a little shrug of the shoulders as she grabs her jacket. She'll be getting the debrief from her teammates now. David Bouffard. So we go straight into the quarterfinals. David Bouffard giving a big wave. Very, very happy to have got this far. So this is the 10th time that we've been here in Cheongsong in South Korea. An absolutely spectacular venue here. Right, so we've got David Bouffard coming up with the Russian Nikolai Kozlovlev. Kozlovlev, the faster of the pair. So it's the first placed athlete from the qualifiers against the last placed athlete. First against the 8th. Kozlovlev on the left, David Bouffard on the right. And Kozlovlev makes an extraordinarily fast start. A little bit of a struggle there, slipped on the ice, but it's enough to win that duel. Still, Kozlovlev will be hoping there are no more surprises. If anyone can do a flawless ascent, it is this Russian champion. They swap places now. Bouffard on the left, Kozlovlev on the right.
Ready?
Poised, psyched, and ready to launch. It's Bouffard who has the faster start, but Kozlovlev is flying up there. It's Kozlovlev. Bouffard is off. A mistake from David Bouffard, and the Russian is able to take the advantage and record a time of 6.53. So it will be Kozlovlev who goes through. Shake hand with the Canadian athlete. So next up we have Yang on the left, Myungwook Yang, and Nikita Glazerin. Yang on the left.
Ready?
Up against a Russian. And it's neck and neck. And it's Yang who looks like he had the edge until he came off. Glazerin, what happened there? Looked like he came off too. Or was it a full start? It looks like they are going to start again. No cool down from below. They're going to start again. Yang on the left from Korea. Nikita Glazerin on the right. And it's Glazerin who looks like he just has the edge, but Yang takes advantage of a slight mistake, and it's Yang. It's Yang who has it. It's Yang who did have it, but he wasn't able to get the timing match. And Glazerin got the timing map first, which is what counts, 8.52. They traded leads the whole way up that duel. So Glazerin now on the left. Second last weekend in China. But Yang is looking extremely strong. Very fast Korean.
Ready?
Just gets his foot into position. And it's Glazerin, it's neck and neck. Yang on the right. Yang has it. Yang's got the edges, Glazerin struggles. But once again, Yang has failed to hit the timing mat. Glazerin has the faster time. If those times stand, it will be Glazerin who goes through. And you can see the frustration on Yang's face. He is not happy. Not happy at all. He clearly was the first to the top, but in a show of the excellent team spirit that there is here among athletes, congratulates Glazerin. So he clearly has the edge. He was in the lead, he got to the top, but he launched for the timing mat prematurely and didn't turn it off, so he is off. So we got Vladislav Iolov on the left.
Ready?
And it is Kartashev on the right. And it's Kartashev, neck and neck. Was it Iolov or Kartashev? Kartashev looked like he had it. Excuse me, that's Neander. Neander on the left, not Kartashev. Neander from Mongolia on the left. And Iolov. Neander has a very, very fast start. Very fast start and confident from the Mongolian, 7.17 seconds. So that heat is now over. They congratulate each other. And next it is Niemov. Anton Niemov who steps up. And this time it is Vladimir Kartashev. Two Russians. Anton Niemov with that gold, the yellow jersey on. It's neck and neck. Kartashev looks like he's got the edge. Absolutely fighting their way. It's very, very close indeed. But it's Kartashev who has that heat. They will now swap places. Anton Niemov needs to win this heat. The pressure is on. Niemov on the right. Kartashev on the left. It's a flying start from both athletes, but particularly from Anton Niemov as he storms up the wall in possibly the fastest time yet recorded, 6.29 seconds. But Vladimir Kartashev struggles. He had a little bit of a situation 3/4 of the way up and wasn't able to keep up with the Russian champion that is Anton Niemov. That is Niemov. So we will be straight over to the women now. So it's Son on the right. And that looks like Maria Tolokonina on the left. Tolokonina showing how it's done as Son struggles. Tolokonina can even allow herself a small mistake there and she still easily got it. Maria Tolokanina. Unbelievable 30 medals that she has accrued just in speed in the last 15 years. Son looking to improve her performance, but the odds are stacked against her, against this Russian climber extraordinaire that is Maria Tolokanina, who comfortably will secure this win if she can just get to the timing mat, which she does in 11.9 seconds. And she will certainly go through on that round. Next up will be Alina Vlasova, most likely, and Vivian Labaril. Labaril, no, on the left it is Valeria Bogdan. Bogdan, who won China last weekend, up against the Swiss athlete Vivian Labaril. And Labaril has got the edge. She just loses it there halfway up, and Bogdan is able to take advantage. And now it's Bogdan. That will be bitterly disappointing for Vivian Labaril. Bogdan has the edge there. So they will now swap sides. Vivian Labaril, she has really come on as a climber. Labaril up against the current #1 ranked athlete Valeria Bogdan. Bogdan seems to have discovered her form on this heat and storms ahead effortlessly. Labaril still looking strong, but she's no match for the Russian. And the Russian gets it in 10.3. And Vivian has to make do with a second place there. It will be the Russian Bogdan who goes through. Valeria Bogdan looking worked but happy with that performance. So Annie Bertling on the right up against Yulia Filatova on the left. Filatova already gets off to a flying start as Annie Bertling struggles on this halfway section to get purchase with her tools. Little mistake from Yulia, but it's enough to secure that win. Annie Bertling struggling a little bit today. We mentioned earlier that you've got to be competition strong, and that means being strong in any conditions. And unfortunately for Annie Bertling, she's suffering a little bit of a sore throat at the moment, not feeling her best, but still putting in an extremely feisty performance. Can she recover on this heat? Bertling on the left, Filatova on the right. Filatova giving us a masterclass of speed climbing technique. Those short arm placements. Annie Bertling, meanwhile, still hasn't quite reached the top. She gets it in 17.5 seconds. It will be Yulia Filatova who goes through on that heat. So the last two athletes to go up will be Alina Vlasova. Give themselves a good hug there. There's a big smile from Annie Bertling. and the Mongolian athlete. So Alina Vlasova making a very fast start up against Arianbaya Batbatar. They now swap places. Vlasova on the right. Batbatar on the left. Vlasova looking like she is the stronger athlete, but it's neck and neck. Neck and neck until unfortunate mistake from the Mongolian. Vlasova will have it. Vlasova is the faster on that duel. And it will be Vlasova who goes through. She really launched herself up that route and just has the perfect technique. It's really about making a flawless ascent, getting those hooks, stepping up without the feet skidding away. So Batbatar, her semis is over. So the men now are getting into position. So we've got Anton Niemov on the left. And he will go up against Nikita Glazerin. Glazerin on the right, Anton Niemov on the left for these semi-finals.
Ready?
Poised and ready to launch. Glazerin makes a flying start, but Niemov seems to recover and get the edge. It's neck and neck between these two. Glazerin just has the edge there, just by 0.16 of a second. Anton Niemov is a very, very strong athlete, but it was Glazerin who had the edge on that heat. Niemov on the right, Glazerin on the left. As they take up positions like medieval gladiators about to go into battle. Another flying start from Glazerin, but Niemov is just flying up there like he's got an invisible winch hauling him up. And that was extraordinarily fast from the world champion, possibly, quite possibly the fastest heat recorded. So Nikolai Kuzovlev will be up next. Neander on the left. Kuzovlev on the right. Kuzovlev demonstrates that he is one of the world's best speed climbers with an ascent like that. And Caroline Neander is no match for the Russian when he is on form. Kuzovlev demonstrates an absolutely flawless technique. Very, very determined athlete he is. And he will be looking to increase his medal haul this weekend. Both tools go in.
Ready?
And he is poised, ready to launch himself up. But Nayandar is not giving up easily. Nayandar could have it. Nayandar has the faster time there. What an extraordinary performance from the Mongolian. Absolutely flew up that right-hand side. And they congratulate each other. There's a hug, clenched fists for Kuzovlev. Now it's back to the women. Maria Tolokanina on the right.
Ready?
And Valeria Bogdan. Tolokanina on the right. Tolokanina on his Filativa on the left. Bogdan. It's Tolokanina has that. Maria Tolokanina looking very calm and collected. As Yulia Filativa now takes up the position on the right-hand side. 32 years old, this Russian athlete, Maria Tolokanina.
Ready?
30 medals. And up she goes on her second heat. It's like Filativa must have come off the wall, which is why she's not competing. So Tolokanina just goes up to record her second ascent in 17:10 seconds. So Maria Tolokanina will be happy with that. Almost certainly make sure that a podium is a possibility for her. She goes down to the last four. So Bogdan on the right. And it's Vlasova on the left. Neck and neck. Bogdan looking like she's putting in the perfect ascent here. The perfect ascent. And she gets it. Much faster than Vlasova. Flawless ascent from the young 19-year-old. Is she going to get a podium a second time? This could be very important for her for the standings for the whole year. And she will be looking and hoping for another podium. She takes up position on the left against her teammate Yulia Vlasova. Alina Vlasova, excuse me. Bogdan once again looked like she has the edge over Vlasova, but a costly mistake there. Means that Vlasova is able to catch up, but still Bogdan has it. Bogdan secures the win of that duel. So it will be a final between Maria Tolokanina, the veteran, against Bogdan, the inexperienced youth. But there will be the battle for third and fourth place still to contend with. So back over to the men's now. Nikolai Kuzovlev there. And Anton Yemov. Well, one thing's for certain, it's going to be Russians on the podium this weekend in speed. The question is, will there be a Mongolian as well? So Anton Yemov there. Just seeing some of the athletes step up now. Nikita Glazerin battling for third place. Up against the Mongolian Kirline Neandar. The Mongolian will be hoping for his first podium. It's been a long time since a Mongolian has stood on the podium in speed. Neandar on the left. The tall Nikita Glazerin on the right as they get into position. And they're off, and Neandar has the faster start, but he struggles, he makes a mistake. It's they've been called down by the judges. It seems as though there was a full start. Will they get the chance to go again? They will step up again. Neandar. Not quite. They're just getting their breath back as the organisers reset the clocks. Very promising athlete, Nikita Glazerin. Second last week in China. Neandar was fourth in China. So can Neandar get the edge? The judge there just having a private word with Nikita Glazerin. Seems to be an issue. So this is the battle for third and fourth place between the Mongolian athlete Kirline Neandar and Nikita Glazerin. Neandar is looking psyched and primed to take on the Russian, but it's the Russian Glazerin who's got the edge. He's flying up there with that enormous long reach of his to get a sub-7 second time. Clearly gets the better of the Mongolian. It's looking good for Glazerin's chances of a bronze. Just unroping there. Very, very confident ascent. So they now swap places. Glazerin is on the left. Neandar on the right. Could yet go wrong for the Russian. Poised. And they're off. Glazerin makes a flying start, but Neandar gets the edge. It's absolutely neck and neck near the top. And it's Neandar who gets the faster time on that duel. We shall have to wait and see what the judges say, who will have the faster accumulated time. It's looking good that it will be Nikita Glazerin. So that was the battle for third and fourth place. Who will get the bronze? But it's the final that counts. Anton Yemov on the left, Nikolai Kozlovlev on the right. Current world champion on the left. And the challenger vying to unseat him. And this modern take on the medieval duel. Ready, poised. And it's a very strong start from both athletes as they go neck and neck fighting. Kozlovlev, Nemov. Who was it? Very close, but Nikolai Kozlovlev has the edge. Just a fraction of a second, 6.28 to 6.38 of Nemov. Nemov will need to win the next heat in this form of gladiatorial combat if he wants to go through and take the gold. A medal is confirmed for both athletes, but we know which one they would rather go home with. Who's it going to be? As always, we love to hear your comments. Kozlovlev takes position, both arms, one arm raised high, ready to launch. Nemov on the right. It is absolutely neck and neck, and they are going at breakneck speed up this wall of ice. And Nemov claims that heat. It's Nemov's. We shall have to wait and see what the final time is. He is absolutely pumped after a flying ascent there. They congratulate each other. They will both be on the podium. Big hug from the teammates. But we shall have to wait and see. Big smile from Nemov. He thinks he's got it. Is it enough to claim gold? We shall have to wait and see. He thinks it is. Extraordinarily fast ascent there. You really get a sense of just how talented these athletes are. So over to the women's now. So battle for fourth place. Vlasova. Vlasova versus Filatova. Vlasova on the left. Filatova looks like she has got the edge until she's fallen, recovers. Vlasova, is it going to be hers? It's neck and neck. Filatova recovers to claim that heat. Filatova claims the slightly faster time, 12.03. Filatova, she will now move over to the left. Filatova on the left, Vlasova on the right. Vlasova will need to pull one out of the bag if she is to triumph and get onto the podium. Vlasova, meanwhile, will be hoping for a flawless ascent as she kicks in and takes position. Who's it going to be? Vlasova looking like she's got the edge. Vlasova on the right in the yellow helmet. She has got it. Once again, it will be over to the official judges and the timing. We shall have to wait for that to determine who won that heat and who will take the bronze. So, Maria Tolokanina up against Valeria Bogdan. Who is the money on? Bogdan on the left. Maria just makes a slightly faster start, but then costly error. And it's Bogdan. It's neck and neck. Both finding it tough. It's Maria Tolokanina who claims victory in that heat. The veteran triumphs against youth. Let's see what happens when the roles are reversed. Can youth yet triumph over experience? So it's just Maria who gets on.
Ready?
Valeria Bogdan is off. Tolokanina goes for her second final heat. Just making very steady progress. She knows she just has to get to the top to win, to take the gold. And she takes the gold. Arms aloft. She is so happy. It's another gold for her already massive treasure chest of medals. Look at that, she is so happy with that. Gives her teammate Nikolai a good hug, and her teammate. So it's gold for Tolokanina, silver for Bogdan. Just waiting for the confirmation on the bronze. So she got that timing, Matt, and the look on her face of relief. So happy. What an extraordinary performance from the Russian. Just 32 years old, and this is her 18th tour. And it looks like still after 18 years, she still means business and is a force to be reckoned with. So the sun has finally come out here in Cheongsong, and what a morning of action it has been. An absolute thriller on ice, both for the men's and the women's. Extraordinary performances from so many athletes, but it seems as though the Russians still dominate for now. European challengers and American challengers still have a way to go before they can knock the Russians off. Big hugs there from the judges and the UIAA's Rob Adey. Big hugs there for Valeria Bogdan. So, after an absolute amazing performance there from the men, we can go to the men's results. So, in 5th place was Vladislav Yolov. Kielan Niamdar came in 4th, but it's Nikita Glazarin who takes the bronze. Nikolai Kuzovlev, who is in 2nd place, and then Anton Nemov, the current last year's champion, who takes the gold. Anton Nemov. Meanwhile, over onto the women's results. In 5th place was the Mongolian athlete Arianbaya Batbata, and then it's all Russians from there to the top. Yulia Filativa came 4th, and it was Alina Vlasova who won that heat to take the bronze. Valeria Bogdan is in 2nd place, and it is the absolute supremo Maria Tolokanina who stands on the gold, takes gold again. An absolutely extraordinary performance from the Russian. So remember to follow us at UIAA Mountains, where you will find a whole slew of other content to keep you busy and happy until the next event. Lots of content. Head over to Facebook and YouTube and make sure you subscribe so that you get the alert when we next do our live broadcast. Speaking of which, our next live broadcast will be at 2:30 p.m. local time, and that will be for the men's and the women's lead finals. And that promises to be a spectacular showdown from the world's top climbers. So thank you really to everyone who has tuned in from all over the world. What an epic Cheongsong is proving to be. This is the 10th year that we've been here, so we hope to see you all again soon in a few hours. But until then, it's goodbye from all the team here in South Korea.